Hello, my name is Michael, and this is my wife, Natalie Carter. We have been here at Cornerstone, or at least I've been here at Cornerstone since the Skate Center days, and my wife joined me shortly after we were married here at Cornerstone. And we really have had this passion and mission really just to get to know those that are around us. I'm more of an introvert. My wife is more the extrovert, so this is something that she obviously enjoys doing. And there have been times over the, 7 years that we've lived in our house in Opelika, that this was something that has recently come up, and getting to know the people around us.
Like I stay at home, so I have the opportunity to walk around the neighborhood and kind of get to know people. Of course, our kids are in the same school system together, so I've mentioned just off the cuff sometimes, like, oh, it would be so fun, y'all come over to our cul-de-sac, let's do something, let's cook out, let's get to know each other. So the fellowship for me has always been there because that is my heart. And unfortunately, we waited too late until there was a house fire on our street. Michael was actually at his Bible study that evening, and I, got the kids. It was late, so we got up and we rushed out, to see what was going on. And I was talking to neighbors on my end, just trying, because there was so much smoke, you really couldn't figure out which house it was at the moment. And so somebody had mentioned it was the little yellow house, and I knew just from doing check-in here and my kids being involved with other kids at school, like I knew whose house it was. So I immediately ran down to find a fireman to see, because I, immediately was praying no one was in there, and thankfully they were not. So as I was trying to get in touch with the neighbor who lived in the house, I was speaking to people that I didn't know that lived on that side of the street down the way, and we were just both, in the event of everything, we were just so sad in the fact that we, not a lot of people, knew them or knew us, or, and how different it should have been. Like, we should have been able to contact them with, a number in our cell phone, not Facebook. So that is when we've both kind of felt led that we needed to just put an end to that and get to know each other and, fellowship over food. So we decided, let's just do like a little block party in our cul-de-sac. And that is when that ball started going. We were just standing there and just kind of felt shameful that we did not know each other, that we kind of had, separated by streets. So a neighbor and I looked at each other and we said, you know what, this is it. She had done some little get-togethers on her side, and I have done some on mine, but this time we wanted to bring the whole community together. I mean, and when we finally decided to do it in our cul-de-sac, we had people who were backyard neighbors with the street over where those people came over. I mean, it was a huge, I think we had 40-ish. Yeah. People, and we really weren't, because it was the coldest night of the year. We were freezing. The time had just changed, and the neighbors were like, how are we going to see the food? And I was like, I don't know. So I called a neighbor down the street, and they hang up the lights in the trees, and we have a fire going, and it was the most beautiful night of community and fellowship that I have ever experienced. And it was one of those where we all just, gathered around, and we just moved around. It was a fun night, and it left us longing for the next one. And even the neighbors behind us on the street who are not in our neighborhood, they're like, we've been wanting to do this. And I was like, well, we have a whole extra side of the cul-de-sac that was not used tonight, so there's plenty room. So I think the next one's for March. Yep. So that is how it started, with a little tragic event, but it turned into something so beautiful and full of community, where it has allowed new neighbors and old neighbors to just kind of come together. And now, like, looking out the door during the day, we see people who connected that night who are now friends, who go on walks together. So it just shows how important it is to just be that friend and be that neighbor.
Natalie and I are both in separate Bible studies, but we're kind of going through the same path. And it really kind of just meshed up right at the right time, how we talk about that it's not the four walls of this church that we have here. You know, we need to go out into the community. We all talk about that all the time, but this is really it in action, us doing that. Is it easy every time? No, it's not. It's
hard
probably
for you.
It's hard for me more than it is
fuels
for
my soul.
but it does challenge us to be able to go out there and spread the love of Christ to those around us. Yeah, so I just encourage everybody, you know, let it not be what it is here in 2020 when somebody comes knocking on your door and you don't go answer it, you're peeking out the window or something like that. Let it be like it was 20, 30, 40 years ago, where you truly knew your neighbors. You went over there to get flour, or you needed, you know, your lawnmower died and you need to borrow somebody else's lawnmower. Take that opportunity to be able just to go out and meet those other individuals, those that are in the community, and through that, you be able to spread God's love through that.